First of all, thank you to join Less Than Zero podcast. Today, I'm really happy to have you with us because we'll talk a little bit, um, in two different things. We have a restaurant industry, we have NFT and token involved on all this, and really want to have your vision, talking a little bit about this. But first of all, so I'm Mohamed Kaada. I'm the host today, and I will let you introduce yourself, please.
My name is Nicolas Lerman, but if you've seen me around, you know I am Tricky Buddha. I come in usually to the spaces. It's Tricky Buddha from DeFi Space Donkeys. So if you know, you know. I'm all over social media, but I spend a lot of time on X. I'm also the founder of the DeFi Space Donkeys Club. I basically tokenized myself, my personal advising services, and created a club for lovers of crypto and NFTs. But that's the short of it.
Yeah, very interesting. We want to have all the link after that, to share with the people who are listening and we see this video. I saw your project. You have a huge NFT, huge project. You have a good community as well. Can you talk a little bit about them, about your project and about your stuff?
Yeah, so I guess I'll start with some background here because like how I got into it. As a personal advisor, people will come to me with all kinds of different questions. So I had a friend who came to me. He was very into crypto. I've been in crypto since 2016. So I think this was about 2021, probably about September. He came to me and he said he wanted to start doing NFTs, maybe October, and so we started looking at it, and he had sold a couple NFTs for a couple $100 and was very optimistic. So we started thinking and brainstorming about a collection. And we saw that there was lots of monkeys out there, lots of apes. There was a couple different animals. And we were trying to find something unique. So we ended up looking for something that was kind of like something strong, but also not too serious. So we kind of thought, well, there's no donkeys. Let's try to use it. We'll use a donkey. And I love space. So we use Hubble Space Telescope backgrounds. And they're very crisp. My PFP is the Crab Nebula, which I just love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. And we made a 10,000 collection. And he kind of just went off to the side, and he wasn't working with me as much anymore. He was just busy doing other things. He lost interest, I guess. Also, the market was kind of coming down at that point, back in October. So as the market's coming down, he kind of left, and I was like, well, what do I do with this art? And it was hard to find people to talk to in real life about crypto and NFTs, especially. Most people thought it was a scam because of what's been going on in the news and stuff. And I mean, there's scams in financial things all the time, but crypto is only like less than 1%. If you actually look at it, the majority of financial crimes are like credit cards and other issues. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, how do I find my people? How do I find people who actually love crypto and NFTs? And that's when I kind of made the phrase, So I basically coined the term DeFi Space Donkeys. If you look on Urban Dictionary, a space donkey is someone who won't get off drugs. So a DeFi Space Donkey, always research your name before you go public, because you never know what it translates to, right? Like Chevy Nova translates to the no-go. Not a good car name when you think about it, but they didn't research. So instead of being someone who won't get off drugs, or someone who won't get off the blockchain, we're lovers of DeFi, right? DeFi all the way. So I phrased that. We started the club. I launched. It was listed for $3, right? Right now our price is 0.039, which is about $103. So it's a little bit over $1 million market cap in about almost 3 years. 3 years next month. So we launched. I gave away maybe 100, trying to build the community. Now we've got 362 members, I believe, on the Polygon.
Amazing.
We have 2,000 on Polygon, 2,000 on NetZ as a blind mint, and we do some customs as well for memberships. And so I was off. I was going through a lot of health issues at the time. I have Crohn's disease and migraines and stuff like this. Last day I had a migraine. That hurricane really set me off through a migraine for the last 14 hours. But So we just kept on building and finding more things to do. And as a going through all these health issues, I decided to get my knee surgeries because I felt useless,
Yeah.
and that is when my mind kind of snapped. It was so much pain and uncomfortable in this, and through that process, I became more positive. I was playing games, Call of Duty, for example, in
Hmm.
order to escape the pain, something to distract myself.
Absolutely.
And I always had a joke loaded because when you shoot somebody and the microphone goes live, they'll cuss at you. It can be super toxic sometimes. So I had a joke loaded, and I would just try and make people laugh. It would make my team laugh, make the person laugh on the other
Sure.
end,
Yeah.
and was like a hack. I realized that by holding that positive thought in my mind, a joke or whatever, it rewired my brain a little bit. And I just was like, I wanted to share that. So I became a positive hidden chronic illness advocate. I made social media accounts everywhere. I was never on social media before. So I just threw myself into it. I was on TikTok for the first year. The last 2 years, I've been primarily on X,
Okay.
because they like crypto over there more. Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. And
Yeah.
and after when I made the club, I stopped saying jokes and I started just saying DeFi Space Donkeys whenever I got killed. It was still funny, so I just kept going with it. And now that's I can't come into a space and not do that. People that's
Yeah.
how people recognize me. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so we just I was hidden chronic illness advocate, and I had fun doing it. It was really it was empowering. I wanted to share that positivity with other people, and it was working. It's been
For
phenomenal.
sure.
I can't believe I did it, and I'm glad I've never turned back now. I'm
Yeah.
totally hooked.
And this is amazing because you say a lot of things right. You said you start with the talking about scam because you're right. It's a lot of scam there, and absolutely right again because a credit card scam it's more than NFT, it's more than crypto and stuff like this. But the people have to know and understand how all this work. Okay, so you have a lot of more knowledge than me on cryptocurrency. I'm in the restaurant business, and my podcast is called Less Than Zero Podcast. Okay, less than zero. Why? Because we start always with absolutely nothing. Okay, and I wish and I want to make when you create a community, you want them to become a part of your project, and give them something to grow with you. If I'm not wrong, right? And doing this since the beginning, starting from zero and going where you want to go with your community, because to make them invest in your project, it's you want them to have something at the end. You know what I mean? To grow
Hmm.
with you, and after that we'll go to the cryptocurrency because right now I want to still talking about the NFT and specifically your project because your project again it's a lot of project NFT already died, you know and yours it's right now since 3 years ago, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
So,
and we're about 3 weeks away from 3 years.
okay, cool. You see, and not a lot of projects, survive 3 years. You know what I mean? And
Most of
this
them are
is
down 95%. Yeah.
yeah, and this is why people think it's a scam. But my question is how we can teach people to understand better and quickly easier on this in this world, crypto world.
Hmm.
How?
Well, the answer is you don't. Right now, let me explain.
Tell me.
As we get more and more services, the people who are building here, it's going to become easier, and it's already to the point now. If you've got the right setup, where you're using a credit card or your
Yeah,
phone, tap to pay. Your people won't need to know the blockchain. They won't need to know the technicalities. They won't need to know that it's encryption. They don't need to know how it works. I mean, I
absolutely.
love explaining it, but it's most people just kind of tune out, right? So you focus on in your case, you focus on the restaurant. You focus on,
Mhm.
well, what is it that they're going to get, right? You focus on the experience, you focus on the product, and if people like the product, and then they can pay for it, right? And when they
Absolutely.
pay for it, then there's different ways to pay for it. You want to pay cash, or do you want to pay crypto? And by the way, our receipt is on the internet, publicly saved there for everyone to see. It's encrypted, it's locked in, and it's immutable. It'll always be there.
Yeah.
If you want it, it's an NFT is what we call it. Digital collectible is a lot more palatable for the average person. So you focus on you know you like someone comes into your restaurant or your bakery, right? They want a baked good, they want a coffee, right? So you say, okay, well, you could just pay cash and come in like a normal customer. But if, for example, you pay with this coin, it's like a gift card,
Yeah.
right? You
Absolutely.
basically you're prepaying for the service or the food, right? And the more people that get involved, the more value than that will get you. So maybe it'll
Absolutely.
get you an extra drink.
Mm,
Maybe an extra meal every week. The more people that get involved, the more it grows. So you focus on the experience, and
mm.
the NFT part, the blockchain part is kind of like an after thing. It's kind of like if someone were to walk into your business and you say, first thing you say is, give me your email address and you want to go paperless. Well, I haven't bought anything yet. You don't need
Correct.
that's the infrastructure behind it. If you focus on what you're adding, the actual value, the crypto thing, they'll come on board, right? You
Mm.
start with that, you're going to lose most people. I mean, the people
Absolutely.
who love it, they're gonna flock to you anyway, right? So yeah, you
Absolutely.
focus on the product.
Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. And I love, talking with you about this because you have a really clear, way to explain things to people. You're absolutely right. Yeah, if we start, telling to people, yeah, I'm in the blockchain in Polygon and stuff like this, you will lose them just like this. But make them, make them, give them something. Understandable, quickly. This is what we are trying to do with Jack Token. I think you already read about it.
Mhm.
We It's all about community. I did the Jack token because I was really looking forward to give something to people involved in our business. Okay, it's mean, you are a part of our business. If you example, we didn't launch yet, but we will launch soon our ICO. I explained to you why, because I want to make sure all the project it's legit, before asking people to come and start investing in our ICO. To make people investing on it, it's make them invest in a real project, in something real. And all this money is going to be, absolutely, again, you're right, absolutely, again, to make them, to give them, it's like a gift card. It's a real money, but you have more if you use crypto. You have
It's a
more if
reward
you,
program.
yeah, absolutely, yes, yeah. And I don't have a lot of knowledge about crypto and NFT and stuff like this, but I will invest in your NFT, of course, because I read a lot about it, and I trust you, and I trust your energy and the people around. I already, um, you have a good story, you have a huge story. And I did my own cryptocurrency. I'm doing it because, again, I want to people to be involved in my business and get a part of the cake. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Today,
It's a good
if you want to
incentive.
invest, yeah, yeah, today, if you want to, it's hard to, if you want to invest in cryptocurrency, regular cryptocurrency, you have to put a lot of money. Okay, you cannot even come and say, okay, guys, I want to buy Bitcoin. Okay, so how much you want to buy? 100, 1000, 10,000, 100,000. What is the amount going to be worth it for you to get money? But I wish, and I'm sure, let me know if I'm wrong or not, but I'm sure if you invest in different ICO, it's like an IPO, but for cryptocurrency. If you invest in different ICO, you can have some project really pop up, and make you a lot of money. What do you
Hmm.
think about it?
Yeah, I mean, well, and I see an initial coin offering, or
Yes.
just like an initial public offering, very similar in a lot of respects. When you get in early to things, you have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I think that it's a great opportunity. And if you phrase it, especially like as a reward program, that's like one of the best ways for people to kind of understand it. Like
Mm.
on Polygon is a great because it's cheap. Gas fees are very very low. Transaction costs, gas fees are very
Absolutely.
low. And it just allows you to transfer that money or that value very, very effectively. If you use a wire transfer, it can be very expensive. If right now Disney is getting involved in Polygon and Starbucks, their reward program is basically going to be on Polygon. People are going to have Polygon wallets without even knowing it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And if you look, there was one thing there that you got wrong. Bitcoin and Ethereum, yeah, they're expensive, right? Like you want to
Hmm.
invest more money to get the transaction cost so it doesn't eat into your investment. But the fees are actually coming down and you can actually invest very little now, right? Like
Okay.
a lot of times you want to get involved in a restaurant business or become like a, get in any kind of business. You have to
Hmm.
usually put up a substantial amount of capital, but you can
Yeah.
literally put in 5, $10. And on Polygon, if it's only costing you a half of a penny to buy five,
Why
ten
not?
bucks, yeah,
Okay.
then you can do that. So it's actually a really good opportunity for the average person to get involved in all kinds of different things, all kinds of IRL businesses, in real life businesses. Coming to the blockchain is the future. You're going to save on transaction costs, and you're going to be able to provide that value very, very quickly versus sending any kind of wire transfer or people building up reward points because it has a liquid value. You can just trade it for money, for cash, or for any whatever currency you like. So I think that the more we go forward, the cheaper everything's going to get because they're all competing with each other. The more blockchains we have, the more they
Yeah.
compete with each other.
Yeah.
Ethereum, for example, could flip a switch and make it the same cost as
Mm.
Polygon. And when they do that, which they will eventually, in order to keep their market share, all the layer twos, which are like Polygon, layer one
Yeah.
is the primary blockchain, layer two is like public transportation, right? You all pull on the bus, and then boom, one transaction hits the blockchain,
Mhm.
and it's all locked in. So it's just going to keep getting more and more efficient and cheaper for the average person to get involved in all these things, right? We're having movies, music, toy companies, restaurants. Everything is getting involved in this, and they're going to save on transactions and have like publicly available data for people to see, like, oh, this is what they're doing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of potential here for investments, cost savings, reward programs,
Mhm.
and then also marketing. Because as these things create volume, then they hit different lists, right? So,
Absolutely. Yes.
so investors and people looking at it will see, oh, well, look at what this is what they're doing. Look at the volume coming through here. For example, if everyone who uses your app and buys food or ride transportation, um, and that will create volume on the chain, on the
Mm.
and then people will see that. Oh, well, this is how
Absolutely.
much
Yeah.
it's doing.
Yeah.
The top people who have the most transactions are listed really high, and they really attract a lot of venture capital money, and
Yeah.
you can make it so you don't have the negative aspect of when you have a venture capitalist who comes in and owns a big portion of your business. They can kind of put their thumb on the scale and kind of like tell you what to do in a way, right?
Mhm.
But if it's all crowdfunded, which is basically what this is, then
Absolutely. Yes.
you can just focus on what you do best, and everyone can kind of just get a little bit involved or as much as they like. And I
Mm.
really like the idea of limiting how much people can max out per wallet. So
Absolutely.
you actually encourage a lot of people to come in,
Mm.
and it really kind of gets people more engaged, right?
Yeah, this is what we do. What we are doing right now in our own app. We have a smart contract in our own app. It's mean we have a wallet for each one will download our app. Okay, and we will give some crypto to our own customer. To reward them by for buying from us. They
Hmm.
have the ability. They will get the ability to buy crypto and stake the crypto, and more you stake, more you have a level in our own app. And we want to do this really easy for the customer. I don't want the customer go to because to go to buy the gas fee to buy the crypto. It's really a little bit for a lot of people. Okay, for people who knows about crypto, it's easier for them.
Hmm.
Okay, but people don't they are not involved on this like a lot of customer we have right now. We want them to get the wallet really easy and quickly. They can pay with it, they can transfer to the bank account, and they can stake
Hmm.
the crypto like this, go up and up and up. And we have a lot of utility with this token we're creating right now. And again, before to go there, we want really to create a community, to say, okay, guys, now we have a community because you are following us, and thank you for that. Now you are capable to get the crypto at this price, we will get maybe 4 rounds, for the ICO, and starting with involving people without saying, okay, to go in you have to spend $25,000, like a lot of ICO projects. I
Mhm.
want a lot of people to be involved on it and get reward at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, because to get involved in a lot of IPOs, for example, you have to be an accredited investor, which you have to have a certain amount of capital, and that requirement isn't in crypto. It's just that
Mhm.
isn't there.
And
So
this is good. This is
kind of
good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When you say that, yeah, this is very important information. Yeah, to invest in APU, you have to be, yeah, you have a lot of rules, right,
thing.
to follow to get involved on it. And so let's go back a little bit about your NFT.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm. Yes.
okay. So how first of all, we will put all the link in our videos later when we upload it, and people can access to you on the later.
And you can Google Tricky Buddha or Tricky's NFTs and find me all over the place. Join me on Twitter or X now, and you'll be able, there's a link tree there
Juan,
and
right, Juan.
website coming as well.
It's raw project. It's very very powerful project, and I
Mhm.
believe on it. Okay, how people have to invest minimum to get your NFT.
Right. So it used to be only $3. Right now it's about
Used to.
$103. Right. So it's
Yeah.
getting a little bit more expensive. Right. But the good thing is, there is a value there in multiple aspects. Right. Because by having the NFT, you can token gate things. Right. What
Mhm.
happens is you can use that token ID, the ID of the NFT, to do all kinds of different things. So you can get access to my Discord. There's special channels that have giveaways and stuff like that. So when I have a sponsor who gives me some tokens or some NFTs, like Meta Rides, right? Meta Rides, as seen in Forbes magazine, they are giving actually a 12 NFTs to people who are staying in our all-inclusive house in Art Basel, right? But you have to be a member of the club to get that. Well, that's a $50 NFT just there. But we have 5 sponsors right now, right?
Wow.
So by having this NFT, there's all kinds of other little perks that we can kind of add in. But also, I am in real life business. I am a personal advisor. I started off out of college. My rate was $10 an hour, and I just kept on. You raise it as you get more experience, more skills, and you run out of time. You just start raising it, and supply and demand. Now I'm at about $325. But if you have one of my NFTs, you can actually pay me with the NFT. Buying the NFT is like prepaying for my services. If you
Mhm.
hold it, it's kind of like staking. There's rewards,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
If you
Absolutely.
want, you can literally send it to me, and you can get advisement services.
Mm.
And actually, right now it's quite cheap to buy the NFT for $103, and then get an hour of my time, which is normally 325. Right? If you just wanted 1 hour, that would be the cheapest way to actually get 1 hour.
Yeah.
So, if we all do that, we can. That's what mass adoption looks like. Is all these companies and people are going to come in and say, like, this is a receipt for my product or service, right? And that's exactly what my project is. So I would expect that eventually the NFT will come up to my hourly rate, and if you buy a contract with bulk hours, it's less than that, right? But still, the NFT is relatively cheap when you consider that. So
It's
enjoy the benefits. When you're tired of it, you can trade it in, or you can sell it on the secondary market. Another thing that I do personally in order to add liquidity, because there isn't like a token, there's a
hmm
liquidity pool where you can sell it and instantly get that value back, right? You can just
okay.
trade it out for
Yeah.
cash.
Yeah.
But with NFTs, it's more like a baseball card, right? Like you buy a baseball card, you're not thinking about selling it tomorrow. You're going to hold it for
No.
5, 10, 15 years. Maybe, who knows? It's a digital collectible in a lot of respects.
Yes.
So, but by having extra utility and stuff like that, you can just add so much more value with that NFT and not have to take loans out, right? There's so many other things,
Absolutely.
other little benefits that are
Absolutely.
coming from holding
Yeah.
those NFTs. So I'm really optimistic about mass adoption coming in, and people, once you have one, you start to get excited. You're like, oh well,
Mhm.
what other options are there?
Let's see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is cool. This is really, really good. I know by fact you have a big project coming soon.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about it in
We've got a
Miami?
lot of projects coming, right? So the club has about 362 people in it right
Okay.
now, right?
Yeah.
Um, and a lot of them are, gamers and all kinds of people from all over the place. But a lot of them have projects, and they want the advice. So I try to add value to a lot of people, and then in return, they usually support. They grab my NFT, and they're not going to sell it. It's usually just because they want to support me, and then like the benefits of having it. But so I back up a little bit. The way I actually add an extra bit of liquidity to my project is
Mhm.
when I have a sale, that's the new price. I will never sell anything below the highest price that it's sold for.
Sure.
So if you buy it today for 0.039 Ethereum, $103,
Mhm.
I will never. I'm not allowed to list below that. I can't
Of
list
course.
anything below 0.04 right now.
Mhm.
So that means that if you come in, you decide, okay, well, I don't want this anymore. You can trade it in for services, or you can sell it for what you bought it for, or the lowest price I can list is 0.04. So you could list it for 0.0395, or
Yeah.
0.0399, and that's the cheapest one now, right?
Okay.
I
Yeah.
can't, I'm not going to undercut you. And there's no BOGOs or anything like that ever.
No.
If I keep on that way of thinking, then there is a little bit more liquidity in a sense,
Sure.
right? So I
Absolutely.
think that's a big part of it is, adding value in a rewards fashion, and
Mhm.
then having some kind of liquidity. Also, in the future, we've got, I'm an ambassador for Crypto Magazine, right? We have this new program. It's a liquid NFTs market. And what happens is part of it gets locked into a liquidity pool, which you can then trade the NFT in whenever and claim the liquidity pool, right? So we're actually working on a way to actually have liquidity. So you can immediately just trade it in and
Yeah.
get that value back. There's something called a 404 contract, which is basically you trading your NFT, you get tokens.
Okay.
Just very simple. So there's the
Mhm.
404 contract, and then there's liquid NFTs where half of the value is locked away. And anytime there's a transaction on the platform, not just my collection, but on the entire platform,
Mhm.
part of those fees fund all the liquidity pools. So it's just going to keep growing. Like, let's say it's the height of the market, and you lock in 50% the value. And then the market comes down a little bit because it's a volatile thing. The more people get involved, the more it'll smoothen out. But right now, it's quite
Sure.
volatile, right?
Yeah.
But if you locked it in at the height, it drops, 40% or something like that. Well,
Mhm.
this liquidity pool could be very, very attractive to just trade
Of
in your
course.
NFT and then buy another one, maybe, get that money back and then buy another one, or
Mm.
get that money back and go, do whatever it is you need to do. So there's a lot of value coming, and a lot new services and potential, utility is kind of what we call it.
Sure. Sure. And we will follow all this on X, especially.
Mhm.
And what about the party we'll have on in Miami really
Yes.
soon?
So during December, that first week of December, there's Art Basel. We had a party. We had an event we did last year with Ape Reunion, the Goonies, Jaden Violet from Raver's Realm, and we threw this event. It was a lot of fun. It was my first in real life event because my health just isn't so good, so I've been stuck at
Oh,
home for the most part. But it was so much fun. I've been doing more. And because of my dietary restrictions, being allergic to wheat and milk, I was like, well, how do I do this safely? So I need to cook for myself. So I'm also having an all-inclusive house. So for that whole week, basically, we're
wow.
going to be throwing dinner parties, and I'll be cooking for me and my friends, basically the club
Hmm.
members. And so that will be every night. And then on the Friday, we're going to all take a little bus over to the Zaucella event, which is we have about 25 different communities and
Wow.
artists and stuff like that all coming together, and 12 hours of live art paintings. We're going to be listening to music all day. Hopefully, we'll have some great food and some drinks and some smoke. We'll just be having a good
This is
time. And
amazing.
then
This is amazing.
afterwards, we'll come back and we'll go hang out at the beach, and I'll grab some drinks and some snacks and stuff from my place. We'll be able to hop over to the house we rented. I've got a 2-story house with a heated pool, just a short walk from the bridge. So it's like a block. You get to the bridge, go over the bridge, there's the beach. So it's going to be a lot of
Amazing.
fun. And the all-inclusive house, we have all these sponsors that are coming up. So like Meta Rides is giving the NFTs from, it's a digital car that you can actually play in
Okay.
a race game, and you can
Okay.
drive around the different metaverses. That's their goal, is to link all the different metaverses together in the future and be able to drive this car around to get around a little faster.
Sure.
Plus they
Sure.
look kind of cool.
Sure.
Uh,
Nice. Yeah.
and
Nice.
we have Lucky Leprechauns giving us 15 NFTs. We also have Turk Coin, which is going to be giving us some airdrops. We have Jazzy from Primates Board Club, which is going to be giving us 5 skate decks, which is really some really cool graphic designs on them. We have the HC Hogs. We have multiple things that are coming together so we can have like door prizes. Basically, they're going to get a goodie bag of all these digital NFTs and cryptocurrencies. And it just, the more people we get into the club, the more that builds, the more potential rewards and prizes we'll have for people. So we'll be able to make a little bit of games out of it while we're having those dinner parties. And we still have 2 months. It's December 1st through the 8th for our house.
Really soon. Yeah.
So in 2 months, hopefully we can get a couple more sponsors. I am this close to locking in some very, very good, like in real life brands. These are companies that have been around for 30 years, and now they're jumping into Web3. And I want to tell you so bad, but I gotta wait till it's locked in. And I'll just say these 2 brands, you'll definitely recognize them. They've been in the public for a long time, and it's gonna be so much fun to bring all these people together.
Yeah, you look very excited about it. This is
I'm very excited. It was
good.
so much fun going to NFT NYC last April that when we came back, me and my club, we got together and we immediately were like, let's plan the next event. When's the next thing we can do? And we planned a couple events, and I noticed that they wanted to do Art Basel too. And I was like, I had so much fun last year. We got to do it. So I'm a co-founder of the Zao DAO. And Zao is going to be absolutely awesome. They did an event in New York, which was a lot of fun. It was only a few hour event, but this one we're making it real big. So I'll be getting in touch with a couple more people. I think we have right now we have between like room for 500 to 750 people, and we're locking in different venues in order to make sure we can. If we get a couple more sponsors and a couple more communities, it could get a lot bigger, a lot faster. Absolutely. I think we're going to have more Web3 projects and brands at my event than at Art Basel itself, because Art Basel tends to be art and it's a higher echelon a little bit. They're getting more into digital though. I actually 2 years ago, before I hosted the other event, I'd actually submitted some of my photography, which was accepted into Art Basel. So there was actually a project that, or not a project, but a display that was all self-portraits, right? And they were taking paintings and photography. So I submitted some photography.
Yeah,
I didn't have a self-portrait in photography, but I was taking a photo of the Rocky Mountains in Rocky Mountain National Park, and I had a nice scene set up, and a really cool little chipmunk came up and looked into the camera last second, so I clicked it. And I submitted that as a self-portrait, and it was in Art Basel. They loved it. They loved, yeah. It was great. It was absolutely amazing. Yeah. So we'll keep doing these events because I'm having a ball doing them, and if I can bring more people together, that's what's up. That's what it's all about, is the community.
We will work on it for sure. Yeah, we will work on it. Tricky. Really appreciate you, my friend. It was very, very interesting. I hope we will do another podcast together really soon. Okay, we want to go more deeper, again, because I think talking about it make people understand a little bit more and more and more. Can help. People can help us. As creator, of event, of development, and I wish I can be part with in your event soon, because again I will put the link in the video, and again, thank you so much for everything, Tricky. It was very interesting. I can't wait to talk again very, very soon. And thank you so much for watching this episode of Less Than Zero. And see you soon. Talk soon.
Like, subscribe, leave a question, and next time we'll get to it.
Yeah, this is good. Thank you so much.